All right, what's going on, class? Welcome to week number 8. That is right, week number 8 of your 7314 class, which is your reference sources and services class, or your reference class. Whatever the formal name is, we just call it reference because that's what it is. As always, I am your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin, and I am sorry to be late this week, but life just be like that sometimes. But we're gonna do a quick video for you all, show you basically two resources this week, and then hopefully next week I'll have some expanded time, because if I do, then that will give me a chance to show you around well, either English databases or newspaper databases. That's what I'm hoping to do. I can't remember if I've done the newspapers for you all or not yet, but that's something I will look up. And if it is not something that I've done already, then that is something that I want to expose you to. So, we're gonna keep doing these videos, and hopefully every week you learn something new, and hopefully every week you feel enlightened. I do want to say, you all did a wonderful, wonderful, fantastic, fabulous job as far as attending the synced session last Thursday. And Amy was very happy. I think it makes Amy's day to have good attendance and to have you all be so engaged and interested in what she is presenting. And I will say that services to the differently able, that is a very important piece. Services to traditionally underrepresented or underserved groups is always important. And I think that sometimes, we focus on other types of diversity, like socioeconomic diversity or ethnic and racial diversity. And we sometimes forget about our friends and fellow country people who are differently abled, whether blind or deaf, or if they have cognitive disabilities or what have you. We want to be there for all of them because we want to, as librarians, be part of equalizing the playing field. I don't think the playing field is ever going to be totally equal. There will always be some inequity, and that's unfortunate. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to make things better for other people. Another quick note that I want to make, you all do, let me just say that for the most part, the discussion board participation is what it needs to be. However, it is still lacking compared to previous iterations of 7314. Now, I know we're under a lot of stress. We've got COVID. We've got a very contentious election. People are just freaking crazy out here right now, and it is getting to everybody. So I understand. But still, try to get your discussion board posts up in time. We actually don't have another one due, I believe, until November. But try to get those up in time, and remember to respond to a classmate every time that you complete one. All right, some other notes that I want to make. We did have a question about the LibApps logins for when you all are going to create your LibGuides. Those will be forthcoming soon, because because registration starts next week or week after next. Registration is starting soon, but I am getting a lot of registration questions, so I need to take care of the registration issues that I've got going. I am getting some sort of error alert. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what that was about, but anyway, having said that, yes, you will be getting your LibApps logins once I get my advisees squared away, but I do have to get my advisees squared away. I will say, though, that the LibGuides are not due until like November the 28th or the 29th, very late in November, so, and it's probably not going to take you all as long as you may think to put them together. And you're probably going to enjoy the process, especially since I am going to, pretty much allow you all to just make your LibGuides on any topic that interests you, because I want you to have fun with it. Now, having said that, if you're not sure whether a topic will be appropriate, let me know. But for the most part, any topic is going to be appropriate. What I would say is you'll still have access to your LibGuide after this course, and you might want to show it to a potential or prospective employer in the future. So you may want to pick a topic that doesn't raise flags with your employer. So, just keep that in mind. So, for instance, if you, I don't know, did a lib guide on, I don't know, I don't even know what could be dangerous. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, just go for something. Gardening is cool. Sports teams are cool. It can be something academic. It can be something that is of concern today, like hate speech and hate groups. It can be about politics. If you are a huge Donald Trump fan, go ahead and make a Donald Trump lib guide. Why not? The man is president right now. So, those are your options. I would say maybe shy away from things like, actually the only thing that comes to my mind is like adult themed things, like things maybe of a sexual nature you might want to steer clear of. Maybe you don't want to do, I just mentioned Donald Trump, maybe you don't want to do the Stormy Daniels lib guide. But even things that can be seen as contentious, they can make really good lib guides, and we need lib guides for them. And there will be a lib guide check-in video at some point closer to that due date, probably in early November. Now, let's take a look at 2 resources, and then I will let you go. Okay, so one thing that I told you all earlier in the class, and I'm going to keep saying it because it bears repeating, it's worth repeating, is that there's no one way to do reference, okay? There's no one-size-fits-all way to deliver a reference course. And I think that frustrates some students because they're just like, okay, I have to take a reference class. Why doesn't this teach me how to just do reference wherever I go? And the reason for that is because reference is going to be so different depending on where you are. And like I said, I've got community college, university, comprehensive teaching universities, research universities, and public libraries in my past for reference. And none of it was the same. It was all very different. And so there was no way that one particular reference course could have prepared me for doing work and all of those things. But what I will say is this is, what I'm about to show you now tends to be kind of a popular source for the for community colleges and for comprehensive teaching institutions first-year students. And this is going to be the Gale One-File Vocations and Careers database. This is usually offered through the public library, actually. Oh, no, please don't do that. Okay. Sorry, that distracted me. I was not expecting that to show up. Let's go back over here. So I'm at Mid-Continent Public Libraries. I'm in their interface right now, and I went to their careers in education resources. And so I scrolled down to this one right here, Gale One-File Vocation and Careers, and I logged in there. And so I'm going to show you this database and show you what's cool about it. Basically, the reason why a lot of community colleges and first-year comprehensive teaching universities use this is because when it comes to teaching these students, what types of careers they might be able to go into, you do want to have vocational outlook, all right? And so this database does give you some of that information for vocational outlook. And so let me explain what I mean by that. So the community college that I worked for, let's see if automotive mechanic comes up here. Okay, one moment while I do some background here. All right, Dr. J has made a really big mistake, and I apologize, and I'm going to correct the mistake now. I got my 2 databases mixed up. That's what happens. So one thing I will say is that my reference practice currently is at UMKC, and we do not use these databases very often there. So I do not use these as often, and I forgot a few things, and you have me instead of going and deleting my mistake, I'm just going to correct myself and just let y'all feel comfortable knowing that everybody is human. We are all fallible. So I got my two databases mixed up. One moment. So this is the one that I really wanted to show you over here, as the first one over here, Ferguson's Career Guidance Center. And I totally whooped on that, but I am going to correct that now. So we are going to go in here. Okay. And so what you can do with Ferguson's, and the reason why Ferguson's is so popular, as I was saying, but I mixed up my databases. But the reason why Ferguson's is so popular is because it can give you that vocational outlook. It can give you, trends as far as whether it looks like this particular profession or career is going to be doing better or doing worse over the course of the next few years. So we are going to go in there, and one career path that my students at the community college had was for being auto mechanics. So let me see if I can do mechanic here. Aircraft, diesel mechanic. I would have thought that auto mechanic would be the first one. Let me see. Automotive mechanic. Sample document? That doesn't look good. Okay, that is a resume. All right, let's do something else. And I'm just going with this. So I want y'all to also see that searches are not as linear as a lot of these tutorials make them seem. Let's see if we've got dental hygienist here, because that was another program at that community college. Yep. All right, so we've got dental hygienist. And what you can do, so if you put in for dental and you get these results, dental hygienist can come up. First of all, actually, let me go back. And so you get different things here. So you get blog, industry, apprenticeship advice, all of these things. And I tend to not use these filters very often, but if you're going to explore this database, and there's a good chance that not your community college, there's a good chance that your public library has access to this database, because this is a very popular database. Mizzou might even have access. I just did not check because I wanted to kind of shift over to some public library resources for those of you who are interested in public libraries. So dental hygienist, you can come over here, and they have, of course, rearranged this. So let's see. There we go. So if you come over to the right, you can click view full article, and then you can scroll down and get the details as you would like them. So you get an overview, and this tells you about the work. This video feature is pretty cool. They didn't always have that. I think they've had it for a little while now, but I remember back when they didn't have it. Dr. Jason's a little old. That's okay though. So you've also got history, which is good for providing context and everything, and then the job, what it entails. But what the students a lot of times really want to get to is the earnings. So the earnings and the outlook. So you get information on the earnings. I would have had no idea that dental hygienists, that was the median income for a full-time one. But they deserve their money, and I think that all working people deserve their money. And in fact, most working people deserve more money than they get. The work environment, working conditions for dental hygienists are pleasant, well lit, modern, and adequately equipped facilities most of the time. Many hygienists do work part-time. Exploring this job, this will tell you what steps you need to take, as well as education and training requirements in order to break into that profession. If there is certifications, a lot of times certifications might vary from state to state. In fact, library certifications, especially school libraries, can vary from state to state, but you'll get some of that there. Experience, skills, and traits. So this will help you determine whether or not this job would actually be a good fit for you. And then employment prospects. That's also very, very important. You want to, in prospects and outlook. because you definitely want to encourage students. Now, don't get me wrong, you want to encourage students to follow their dreams, but you also want students to go into fields where it looks like there will be viable future opportunities. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well, and you get that type of information with the prospects and the outlook. Um, and then you've got some learn more and some other things there, but yeah, the nuts and bolts of what a lot of students are looking for and what a lot of teachers are having them hunt down is within the outlook and prospects and the earlier information. Okay. And this is usually also a viable source that teachers will allow students to use for their homework. But one thing, and this actually came up in the database unassignments too, you can have these citation features, but just know that these are not very reliable, okay? I would not cite this like this for APA. I would just not do it. Plus, we are at APA 7, and this is showing me an easy bib result for APA 6. You just try not to rely on the automatically generated citations in any particular database. They are correct about 80% of the time, which may sound good, but that means that if you have a paper with 10 sources, there's a good chance that 2 of them are improperly formatted. Okay, so keep that in mind. So play around a little bit if you want to with Ferguson's career guidance, and we're going to look at that other one now. Okay, so let's do this right this time. This is something that you can use. Gale OneFile Vocations and Careers, and Gale is in the game. Gale is, along with EBSCO and ProQuest, one of the major players in the database providing game. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to we'll probably go over some Gale biography sources and some other things when I get to do the English resources, if I haven't done them already, which again, I need to check. But yes, so Gale Vocations and Careers, this is where you can get some good information on some various, let's see, what you can get are actually academic and popular types of articles through this particular database. So if I do dental hygiene, and I'm doing, so again, this is, a lot of times this is for students who are in community college or first year students at universities, but it can also even be high schools. Just trying to get these students into looking for good information about careers they want to potentially follow. And so I've got dental hygiene here, and it actually breaks these down into different categories. So I put dental hygiene in. I've got 1,300 magazine sources, almost 400 academic journal articles. And that's the thing, because, and I've run into this before in my own practice. I've had teachers very oddly assign their students to look for academic journal articles related to things that you're just not going to find a lot of academic journal articles for, because, you know, how are academics writing about this stuff? Like, for instance, you know, the example that one of my colleagues at a previous institution said was, when we were confronted with this, was she was just like, okay, so what is this professor expecting? Is he expecting these students to find like articles that relate automotive mechanic outlook to feminist theory? You know, how does this even work? But, you know, if they are requiring their students to find these academic journal articles as part of their assignments, then this Gale OneFile Vocations and Careers source can be a good source for that type of action. So, and we even have, I don't know that this was always there as far as these nice little check marks for peer reviewed, But a lot of times when people are looking for academic journal articles, they are looking specifically for things that have undergone peer review. And in this case, a lot of these have. So this is pretty convenient. You can get news and then you can get images as well. So those are options for you. And so, when people are when students are putting together reports of potential vocations that they want to go into, this can be a very useful resource. Now, I actually might be able to keep this one under 25 minutes. Surprise, surprise. So let's try to do that. But you are going to want to be familiar with your search tools down here. And these search tools work very similarly, at least, well, I shouldn't say Topic Finder works very similarly to how things work in other databases, because it doesn't. But you will get very familiar with subject guide searches. And so subject guide search, if you do dental hygiene, what this will do, or dental hygienists, maybe that's the good one. What this will do is it will find the appropriate subject guide terminology that you will use in order to look for information within the database. So people might look for dental assistants or something like that, but the subject guide search tool will allow you to actually find the controlled vocabulary that is being used in the database. So in this case, even though there are, actually, let me go back. So dental hygienist, you'll find subdivisions. That's actually what you're going to want to also keep an eye out for. Well, that did not do what I wanted it to do. But so you can break this down. You do have a controlled vocabulary for dental hygienists. And then you probably, a lot of times people are going to be wanting like information on practice. And as you can see, we've got a very thin list of results, but we do have results, magazines, academic journals, and news. Finally, and we just will be at just 25 minutes. The Topic Finder tool is an interesting tool. And you can look at this for how it works. This tool takes the titles, subjects, and approximately the first 100 words from a subset of your top results and feeds them into an algorithm. Keywords shown in the graphics are those found most often in the text with your search term. The topic for Illinois might bring up expected connections from the text like Chicago, along with unexpected but commonly related terms like water, steel, and so forth. So again, you can do, let's see if we can put dental hygienist or dental hygiene maybe in this time. All right, and we get some tiles here. And so this will link you to adjacent terms or adjacent concepts, maybe I should say. And these things are useful for trying to find. So I put in dental hygiene, and so this goes into an overarching thing of oral hygiene. And you can kind of click on that, and you will get further results. So can I just get a list of my 128? Yes, I just couldn't find my scroller. Okay, so there's my scrolling tool there. And so you can actually click on any of these, and then the database will take you to relevant information for that. And you can also narrow down your search, your terms that way. All right. So if you want to learn more about these databases, see if your local public library has them. You should be checking to see what your local public library has anyway, and play around with them. And with that said, we will keep it under 25 minutes. I am Dr. Jace. If you are quarantining, stay in place. I will see you next week. Goodbye. Love y'all.